6:34 here on News Radio WRVA. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name is Rich Herrera. We continue with you this morning on Richmond's Morning News. I want to take a step back for just a moment. For just a quick moment, I want to take a step back because now we're about a week into this conflict with Iran. Whether you want to call it a war, whether you don't want to call it a war, whether you think you need the War Powers Act, you don't need the War Powers Act, whether you're supporting the troops or you're asking for this to end right now, I want to take just a big step back with you this morning here on Richmond's Morning News. Because as I watch this play out, I think I see something I want to point out to everybody. And that's the political class in D.C., the pundits on television, and the media. I think we need to have a complete and total reset right now on what's going on between the United States and Iran. Remember, this was born generations ago. Generations ago, the Shah was installed as the king of Iran by the Soviets in the British World War II era. Then there was a prime minister that came to power that was communist, if you will, for sure a socialist, and he nationalized their oil industry, and BP in the UK and the United States said no, and he was pushed out. So then the Shah had complete power in the country again. There was Islamists, there was leftists, and he ruled with an iron fist. 1979, the Shah falls, the Ayatollah comes in, and the world changes. Okay? That's your history lesson right now. But there's another history lesson that I think we need to keep an eye on that I'm just not sure many people are paying attention to. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that I keep hearing out of people from Washington. It's the biggest mistake that I keep hearing from people on television, the media, the pundits, and everybody else. And I want to point this out this morning. We in the West keep assuming that this Iranian regime will eventually come around to think like we do in the West. Well, here's what we really see going on the ground right now. You take out the Ayatollah, and who do they bring in? A lot of you, and you've heard this for the last week or so. Well, maybe they'll come in with somebody more moderate. Maybe they'll come in with somebody else. We're hoping they're going to come in with somebody who's going to maybe align more with us, or maybe not want to destroy us. That's what we're hoping. Folks, hope is not a strategy. I'll repeat that again. Hope is not a strategy. You need to understand who these people are and what motivates these people on the other side of the world. This is a revolutionary regime that came to power to stand up to and fight and destroy the West. So after 47 years of the Iranian regime sowing chaos in the Middle East, that chaos was not just random, it was planned. They want to destroy Israel. They want to destroy the United States of America. They say it on a daily basis, but in the West we kind of go, that's just rhetoric. No, they actually mean it. Want proof? Look who they installed as their new supreme leader, the Ayatollah's son. They're not going to moderate. They call America the great Satan. They call Israel the little Satan. They fund terrorist proxies around the Middle East to wage war upon the West. And they've crushed dissent within their own country. And now we're saying, well, I hope they're going to moderate with their next leader. Yet somehow the foreign policy class in Washington keeps hoping and wishing for the same thing. Let me just tell you the reality of where we are. We in the West tend to think of things as the Western way of life, and that Western prism that we look through is universal throughout the world. We tend to assume that every country ultimately wants the same things we want: freedom, democracy, Western values, and normal relations with America. Let's be honest, though. In Iran, that's not what they want. Some regimes around the world do not want that. China doesn't want it. Russia doesn't want it. Cuba doesn't want it. And Iran certainly doesn't want Western democracy, Western values. They have a different way of life. Do you remember when we used to tell people, hey, thanks to our military for protecting our way of life? We just kind of parrot those words. Our way of life is freedom, democracy, and individual rights. Their way of life is not anything close to that. Our way of life is based on Western civilization. Their way of life is based on something completely that's the antithesis to that. They don't want to become Western. They don't want our way of life. They want to defeat the West. And when they say they want to destroy the United States of America, they're not metaphorically speaking. They are literally saying they are here to destroy the West, the little Satan, Israel, and the great Satan, the United States. End of story, period. That is it. They say what they mean. They have dissent within their country. They kill 30,000 people that have tried to stand up and say, maybe we should do things differently. They mean what they say. They fund Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis to wage war upon the United States. We say we want peace. They say we're going to keep funding these terrorists that are striking around the world. We say you can't have a nuclear bomb. We go in, we take out their nuclear programs and say don't restart it. What do? They restart the programs. And you have people sitting around going, I hope maybe they'll just moderate and come around to the way of the rest of the world. It's not going to happen. And we do this all the time with our foreign policy and the people that we have in Washington, D.C. The danger isn't that Iran misunderstands America. The danger is that America keeps misunderstanding Iran and the rest of the world. We keep thinking we're looking into the mirror. We keep trying to mirror what our values are and project them upon the rest of the world. The rest of the world doesn't have the American point of view. They don't want our way of living. They don't want our type of government representation. They don't. If they did, then they would have done it on their own. So when we keep saying, well, maybe Iran will want to join, maybe the mullahs and the Ayatollah will want to come around to the way the rest of the world is, they have no interest in it. Want to know why? They tell you why. You want an example? They just elected the Ayatollah's son to take back over. So as we're watching this play out and we're still continuing to get congressmen and senators and they're arguing over whether this is the right thing to do or not, when they say they want to destroy the United States of America, they mean it. You want proof? They just doubled down and made the Ayatollah's son their next supreme leader. They do not want to be our friends. They do not want our Western democracy. They do not want our Western way of life. They want their way of life for everyone in their country and for, quite honestly, people outside their country. And until we start learning that there are people that are in the antithesis of our Western way of thinking, and we have the naivety to say that, oh, everybody wants the democracy to be like us, then we're just fooling ourselves. We're just fooling ourselves. And the sooner we understand that, the sooner we're going to be better off. There is a difference between the West and the East, the West and what we see in Iran, and you better recognize it. And if you don't, then it's a fool's errand. Because if you keep thinking that they're going to come away to our way of living and our way of life, then you're sadly mistaken, those of you that are arguing and hoping for this. Again, the danger isn't that Iran misunderstands America. Finally, we're telling them exactly what we think. We're doing exactly what we need to do. We're doing exactly what we need to do to protect ourselves. The danger is that we keep misunderstanding Iran, thinking, well, maybe they'll just come around to our way of thinking. Hasn't happened in 47 years, and they keep proving it on a daily basis. The sooner we figure that out for the political class in D.C., the better off we'll be. Do you agree or do you disagree? I'd love to hear from you this morning on the James River Air Text line, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. I keep seeing it. I was watching the Sunday shows. I was watching cable television all weekend, and I kept hearing people saying, well, maybe they'll come away to maybe we'll get someone that there'll be a moderate in there. There is no moderation that's coming from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Maybe if you have complete collapse of their regime, somebody will be established, but while their mullahs are in charge, that's not going to happen.